This is footballnewsnow.com, and I am Chuck Carroll here with Jay Richardson of the Oakland Raiders, headed into the 2010 season. Jay, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, well, you're coming off of a disappointing 2009 campaign with the Raiders. I mean, I wish I could sugarcoat it a little bit better for you. 5-11, but where do you think you guys stand headed into the 2010 season?
And like you just said before, there's no other way to put it. 2009 was disappointing for us. The beauty of it is the only way you can go is up, and it looks like we're going that way right now. New quarterback, a few new coaches, a couple new linebackers, a couple new offensive linemen, but a new feel around the office, man. A lot of new personalities, but all positive. And right now, I'm feeling pretty good about what we got going on.
All right, well, let me ask you this. You were moved out of the starting lineup last season, but the team decided to part ways with Greg Ellis a couple months ago. And what do you think your chances are now of moving back into the starting rotation?
What I love about our coaches is, they're going to put the best players out there. And, if I prove that I'm one of the best players throughout camp, then they're going to put me out there. So I'm not worried about, whether I'm starting, how much I'm playing. They know what I can do. In the minutes that I did play, I thought I played pretty well. Was productive. And I think I got as good a chance as anybody, to get that left end job coming into 2010.
Absolutely, and you actually just hit the nail on the head. Even though you were moved kind of into spot duty last season, when your number was called, and the stats don't lie, you moved up in a big way and really did your job. And Coach Cable even praised you, for doing that.
Oh, he did?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, one of the transcripts I have here from one of his post-game news conferences, he said, and I quote, "I thought it was a real lift for our team, what Jay did. Jay has not played a lot because of who he's playing behind, and he was needed yesterday. He stepped up and made some plays." And he said that just before Thanksgiving. So it sounds like you have an advocate in the head coach at least.
Well, that's the guy you want on your side. But and like you said before, I mean, there's nothing wrong with playing behind, a Richard Seymour or Greg Ellis. We're talking about Pro Bowl caliber players. You're just happy that you get a chance to learn from guys like that, man, and just pick up what you can. And I'm one of those guys that I'm a humble guy. I don't need to be the superstar. I don't need to be the center of attention. I just want to win. That's all I've ever cared about. And whenever they give me a chance to get out there, I do what I can.
So you're in the final year of your contract now coming up. I think you signed a standard 4-year rookie deal. What do you hope to prove? What do you hope to prove here in the 2010 season?
This season, my goal is to prove, and this is how I truly feel, is I need to prove that I'm one of the elite defensive ends in this league. And, that's going to be a challenge because there's so many good players, but at the same time I've been working my butt off, and I think I'm as prepared as ever going into the season to prove that. So, I'm going to have to do it through the numbers I put up and, through the film that you're going to have to see. So that's my goal for this year is to be as productive as I've ever been, to up my numbers in every category and just prove, that I'm one of the elite players out here in this league.
Speaking of the upcoming season, a lot of talk of moving to an 18-game season. Players on both sides of the fence, as a matter of fact. Where do you stand on that?
Here's how I stand on this. If you want to add 2 more regular season games, then you have to add 2 more regular season checks. So if they plan on paying us for 2 extra games, I have no problem playing 2 more games. If they plan on wearing our bodies out for even longer and paying us the same, then I do have an issue with that, and that's about where I stand.
Do you think that that's kind of the belief of the majority of the players?
I think that's the general consensus, by most of the guys. I mean, if you want us to do more work, that's fine. If you get more pay, I'm not sure where that makes sense, where you do more work and get the same pay. I'm okay with overtime as long as you get the overtime pay.
So looking ahead now to the 2011 season, if there is one, suppose you work your butt off here in the 2010 season, prove, like you said, that you are one of the elite ends in the National Football League. But what are the odds of a lockout next season?
I got to be honest with you. From what I'm hearing, the odds of a lockout are pretty good, and it's not what any of us want to hear. It's certainly not what you. Being a sports fan, and obviously being an athlete, you don't want to hear that there's not going to be a job for you to do next year. I mean, it's hard enough that the economy is the way it is, and now you're telling us we have no football. But when you have a dispute between the owners and the players and you can't get on the right page and the clock's ticking, every day that goes by that we don't get it done is one step closer to there not being in the NFL next year, and that's just kind of how it is.
Now you're going to be a free agent after the season, barring the Raiders, lock you up unless you blow them away. The first 8 weeks of the season or so, register something like 20 sacks. You have a lockout. What are the odds? You might do something ridiculous like move down to the UFL or something just to keep your chops.
I mean, that's a realistic possibility. I think you're going to see a lot of guys considering that move, which I'm sure will be good for the UFL. That there's a chance they're going to get a lot of big name players to come in and boost their ratings and get some more notoriety for that league. But that's, I think, the deeper issue here is that if the NFL doesn't want us, then we can go somewhere else and play. And the bottom line is, people don't come to watch, the NFL Shield, or they don't come to watch owners sit in boxes. They come to watch players play. And without the players on the field, there is no NFL, clearly. So I hope they understand that as well.
I want to bounce back to the NFL now, kind of bouncing around here. Earlier this offseason, the Raiders were docked a couple of OTA days, I guess because the practices were going a little bit too aggressive. What exactly was the story there from your perspective, and what was it that Coach Campbell was doing that drew the flag from the league?
I got to be honest with you. I thought we ran things pretty standard, but apparently we might have been too much 1 or 2 days. I'm not sure when it happened, and it's not my call, obviously. But next thing you know, I come in one day and they're saying, "Hey, look, we've been docked a couple workout days for excessive working out." And as a player, you never want to lose workout time at the same time.
Sure.
You're not upset with the vacation, so hey, you get a day off, you get a day off.
Now, here's some good news. Football News Now, we are based out of Washington, D.C., and have been for some time. And if there's one thing we know, it's that when a quarterback leaves the Washington Redskins, he goes on and does just phenomenal things for the next team. So do you think Jason Campbell is the change that, was ordered?
I can tell you right now, the most important position in sports is probably an NFL quarterback when it comes to value to a team. And so far, what I'm seeing from JC, he's going to be a difference maker. He allows us, I think, to open up our offense a bit and do some things that we probably couldn't do with a younger quarterback like Jamarcus. And that's not a knock on him, but sometimes quarterback maturity is important when it comes to scheme and how you plan, your game plan for that week. And you don't want to do too much. But with him, we're going to be able to do, I think, everything that these coordinators want to do and more. And, he's also, a good guy. Obviously a very competent guy, smart guy, really cares about, performing. And hopefully it shows.